Test, 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 test. We're going to go ahead and reconvene into open session at 7:11. Item A, roll call members of the administrative cabinet. And I'm going to go ahead.
Gisela Mark Matthews.
Present.
Gioconda Rodriguez Padilla, present.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Moving on to item B, Pledge of Allegiance. We have a McGee Academy student, Principal Melgar, to introduce the student.
My name is Jay Gonzalez, and I'm in fifth grade at McGee Academy of Arts and Sciences. I'm really excited to be here today to tell you why I love my school. One of the best things about our school is how many fun and exciting opportunities we have to get involved. There's something for everyone. We have after school programs like cross country, track, soccer, volleyball, and even hockey. This last weekend, our cross country team competed at the Mount Sac Invitational, where our team had some great highlights. Our girls' third and fourth grade took first place in their division. We had some other notable students. Elena Potter, 7th out of 97 students. I was able to get 11th out of 90 students. And Riley Calderon got 13th out of 124 students. Great job to our teachers, to our students and teachers who helped out. Mr. Anap, Mr. Dinap, Mr. Dieta, and Miss Persona. For students who enjoy being creative or hands-on, there's art club, gardening, and robotics. And for those who like working with technology, we have an awesome coding club too. We also have special teams like the broadcast team, the yearbook team, and the leadership team. These help us build confidence, learn responsibility, and have fun while doing it. Our broadcast team, led by Mr. Barca, has been in production for 8 years and has over 800 broadcasts, 780 subscribers on YouTube, and over 75,000 views. Our school also hosts some really fun events like the color run, and Loteria night. These are great because families can come together and enjoy being part of our school community. Another thing that makes our school amazing is our teachers and staff. They work really hard to support us, not just with academics, but also emotionally. They listen to us, care about us, and help us grow as people. As you can tell, we have many great things going on at McGee. Thank you for the opportunity to come talk about McGee Academy of Arts and Sciences. We invite you to come by one day to be interviewed or to be part of our broadcast. Thank you again for allowing me to come and let you know what about the great things happening at McGee Academy of Arts and Sciences. At this time, we ask everyone to please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jay, great job. First of all, let's give him a hand for his awesome presentation. You did a great job, Jay. By the way, I went to McGee myself too, so good job in keeping that McGee spirit up. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We do have a certificate for you if you can come up and accept the certificate. And if you don't mind, we can take a picture with you. Excellent. Thank you, sir. If you don't mind, could you come around? Yes. I'll go ahead and read the certificate before we present it to him. It says, El Rancho Unified School District Board of Education and Appreciation, Jay Gonzalez, in recognition of your participation in El Rancho Unified School Board of Education meeting. The Board of Education commends you for your support and inspiration. Presented this 21st day of October 2025 by the Governing Board of Education. While we take a picture, can we have the family members come up as well and the principal, please? One, two, and three. Get the clear field. Yeah, that's perfect. Right. Great job. One with you. That was awesome. Moving on to item 6, adoption of the agenda. Approve the agenda for a regular Board of Education meeting of October 21st, 2025. Before we do we have any amendments?
President Contreras?
Yes.
Yes, we do have amendments. Agenda item amendments, item 5.B, change visitor register to number 6-2025/2026. Item 13A, replace attachment available at the registration table. Item 16.D.4, replace attachment available at the registration table. And Mr. Matthews has 2 items.
Item 16E1 2C, insert the effective start date of 10/23/25 and insert the name Pacheco Yvette. Item 16E1 2D is to be pulled. Thank you.
Any more amendments? Hearing none, and get a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee LaFarga, second by Trustee Mejia. Go ahead, take a vote. Trustee Mejia,
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra,
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga.
Yes.
I myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. Report of actions taken in closed session.
Thank you, Board President Contreras. The board convened into closed session at 5:41 p.m. Present were all board members present here. Ms. Perez also participated remotely. She was there for informational purposes and did not vote. As to item A, motion made by Ms. Saavedra, seconded by Vice President Lafarga, to accept the resignation of Dr. Marco Villegas effective October 21, 2025. That motion passed with a 4-0-1 with Ms. Perez abstaining. As to item as to item A as well, motion was made by Ms. Mejia, seconded by Vice President Lafarga, to approve the resignation and separation agreements and mutual general releases between El Rancho Unified School District and Marco A. Villegas. Motion passed with a 4-0-1, abstention by Ms. Perez. No further reportable actions were taken regarding item A. As to item B, motion was made by Vice President Lafarga, seconded by Board Member Mejia, to make the following appointment for an interim superintendent of schools. Motion passed with a 4-0-1 with Ms. Perez abstaining, to appoint Dora Soto Delgado as an interim superintendent of schools. Direction was also provided. Direction was also provided to legal counsel to engage Ms. Soto Delgado in contract negotiations. Contract will be presented to the board for consideration at a future meeting. Closed session discussions concluded at 7:07 p.m., but we will need to re-adjourn to closed session to discuss the remainder of the closed session matters. And that concludes my report.
Thank you so much. And at this time, I would like to release a public statement from the board. This evening during closed session, the Board of Education formally accepted the resignation of Dr. Villegas effective immediately. The board extends its appreciation to Dr. Villegas for his service and contributions to the El Rancho Unified School District. We wish him continued success in his future endeavors. We want to reassure our students, families, employees, educational partners, and community stakeholders that the district's commitment to excellence remains unwavering. Our dedicated teachers, classified staff, and administrators continue to deliver high-quality instruction and maintain a safe and supportive learning environment. To ensure the continuity of leadership, the board has voted to appoint Ms. Dora Soto Delgado, currently serving as Director of Student Support Services, as interim superintendent of schools effective today. And I'm going to go ahead and read a short bio. Dora Soto Delgado has served the El Rancho School District for 29 years. She previously worked for the city of Pico Rivera, and she has dedicated decades to the Pico Rivera community. Being a family of educators, her husband and daughter are also teachers within the wider local community. Beginning as a teacher herself, she began her career at El Rancho, starting at North Ranchito Elementary, being recognized for her leadership and commitment to the students and families we serve. She advanced her career to administrative roles. Her accomplishments as a cabinet-level administrator have extended beyond the district, culminating in recognition by the Los Angeles County as Cabinet Administrator of the Year in 2023. She is currently enrolled as a doctoral student at the University of Laverne. We are proud to have Ms. Soto Delgado representing our district. Thank you very much. At this time, I'm gonna, I don't know if you have any words to say, interim superintendent. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. Yes, I apologize,
My heart's about to
but I
jump
feel
out
it's
my chest,
necessary.
but Thank you. Thank you, everyone. What a warm welcome. I'm gonna try to not get emotional here. I express my appreciation to the Board of Education for their trust and confidence in appointing me to serve as interim superintendent. I'm honored by this opportunity to provide continued leadership during this period of transition and to continue serving our students and staff and community. Our cabinet remains committed to working collaboratively to ensure that every student in our district receives a quality education and the support that they need. Thank you all so very much. Very heartwarming to hear everybody's applause, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving forward, we're going to have a student reports. And before I do so, I do want to apologize to our students here tonight and also to the public for extending the closed session. But as you know, as you can understand, some very important issues and items. So on behalf of the board, I do apologize for, going over a little bit. We do try to honor your time. We know your time is very important, so we do apologize for that. And again, we apologize to our students here. We're going to start with ASB President El Rancho High School, Mr. Abraham Jimenez.
Good evening, members of the board, cabinet, and ERUSD community. My name is Abraham Jimenez, and I am the ASB president of Rancho High School for the school year of 2025 and 2026. The first week of October, we had homecoming voting from September 30th to October 2nd. During lunch, we also had our Stapoglici football game on October 3rd. Unfortunately, Rancho lost to Lucerna. We had our boys volleyball, our boys water polo senior night that same day. Congratulations to our senior athletes on an amazing season. The following week, we had Blue Pride Runaway on Monday, October 6th. On that same day, ASB had its annual gate decoration to represent each class themed for annual night paper rally. We also had our Hoko Food Fest on October 7th. Each club got to sell an item to fundraise during lunch. On that same day, we had our girls volleyball senior night. Congratulations, ladies, and all best of luck after graduation. On Wednesday, October 8th, we had our annual NPR. The freshmen were the Little Mermaid, the sophomores were the Minions, the juniors Monsters Inc., and the seniors were Sinister Seniors. Congratulations to the seniors for taking the win against all other classes. On October 9th, we had our Hoko reveal in the main gym, where we crowned our princesses and princes for our grades. We also had our parent conferences that evening. On October 10th, we had our homecoming football game, winning against Cal High. We also revealed our king and queen during halftime. On Saturday, October 11th, we had our Hocochella dance in the quad. Everything was nicely decorated and we had a great turnout. Finally, this evening, oh, finally, we had our Girls Grove senior night. Congratulations to our seniors. And just now, this evening, Rancho Flag Football won the first round of playoffs, the final score being 26-6. Good night and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jimenez, for that great news we were expecting to hear for tonight. So good luck to our Lady Dons for the flag football. And also, I believe this week is the last home game for Rancho football, correct? This Friday? And then they'll have one more after that, and then hopefully playoffs, right? All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce Ms. ASB spokesperson from Salazar High School, Danny Espinal.
Good evening, Board of Education members, district administration, teachers, staff members of the community. It's a pleasure to join you tonight to inform you of events happening on Salazar's campus. World Mental Health Day was observed on October 10th with the purpose of raising awareness for mental health issues and promoting efforts to support mental health. To demonstrate their support for the cause, Salazar students received pins featuring the green ribbon symbol to remind them how they matter. On Thursday, October 9th, our PBIS team hosted an end of the quarter fun fest. Same bucks can be redeemed by students for a range of treats and rewards. We would especially like to thank our PBIS coach, Ms. Gallegos, and all of the teachers and staff who helped make the event a success. October 16th was Boss's Day, and Salazar teachers and students would like to thank Mr. Sermano for all that he has done for us. We would like to use this opportunity to express our gratitude for all his efforts in supporting our school and its success. Thank you, Mr. Sermano. October is a month for breast cancer awareness. The week of October 13th through October 17th, our school raised awareness and remembering families and friends who are battling the disease, as well as those who have passed on. The week of October 20th through 24th at Salazar, we're recognizing Red Ribbon Week. This year's theme is Life is a Puzzle, Solve It Drug-Free. To show our support for saying no to drugs, some activities we will be doing are dress in all black to black out drugs and jerseys to team up against drugs. Our purpose is to highlight and draw attention to how important it is to lead a drug-free life. In honor of Halloween, Salazar will have a spooktacular week from October 27th to October 31st. Students will participate in a variety of games and activities all week long, ending on Halloween with a costume contest and more. On October 7th and 14th, a group of Salazar students will be training for the peer mediation program at our school site. The goal of the program is to provide support in creating an inclusive and safe learning environment. Students learn to build understanding empathy, and dialogue by resolving conflict peacefully and constructively. We would like to express our gratitude to Mr. Rojas and Ms. Laguna for organizing the program. That's all I have at this time. Thank you, and please enjoy your evening. And thank you again for the opportunity to update you on our school.
Thank you, Mrs. Pinat. At this time, we're moving on to item 9. We are going to open up for public comments. Items on the agenda, blue comment cards. I have one item. Ms. Diana Limes. Excuse me, hold on, Ms. Limes, I do apologize. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, board members, superintendent cabinets, district staff, parents, students, and community members. First off, I would like to thank you, board, for finally doing what's been needed for some time. I'm glad to hear and see that you are putting our students and staff first. Unfortunately, it was at a big cost and unnecessary changes and disruptions. Last year, many of your constituents brought it to your attention that we were unhappy and disappointed in what was happening. We felt ignored and dismissed, but here we are. With the notice that came into my email last week with the superintendent's resignation letter, the texts and calls that followed all weekend with many of us saying, finally, I also stopped to think and say, what now? I personally feel that we have the right board to make sure that we move forward and can be better. It's now up to you to do your due diligence to work like never before in finding someone who truly cares and is capable of helping our community to thrive. El Rancho has a tendency to get stuck in the back and forth with stalling after one good deed is done. What exactly are we waiting for? On another note, I would like to ask that we take a moment to reflect on how we have handled the passing of some of our students and staff. I want to acknowledge the importance of every student, every child, and every staff member who we have lost or have suffered the loss of one of our own. While we are great at recognizing the tragedies of others in the nation, I feel saddened by those forgotten within our home. Let's do better. Let's actually mean it when we say once a dawn, always a dawn. Lastly, congratulations, Mr. Delgado. I wish you the best and luck. With your hard work and your dedication, we could finish strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limes. Moving on, items not on the agenda, yellow card comment cards. I'm going to go ahead and start with Dr. Teresa Merino. Welcome back.
I want to start by, no, I'm not going to start. Don't start the clock yet. Congratulations to our future Dr. Dora Soto Delgado. I am certainly at ease knowing that the district will continue to be in good hands. Congratulations. You'll do a fabulous job. And to my former colleagues, for old time's sake, I have been very careful to stay within my time. But if I go 5 seconds over, please do indulge me. Thank you. Good evening. I am Dr. Teresa Merino, former board member. I am here this evening to personally express my profound gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Marco Villegas for his years of service at El Rancho School District. In 2021, a change in leadership was imminent, and groups comprised of various stakeholders from the board, unions, and community launched a nationwide search for a new leader, and Dr. Villegas was selected to set the district on a new path, to chart the course for the academic achievement of students, to bring the stability to the district, and to undertake the paramount task of the modernization of the facilities. And Dr. Villegas, you have delivered. I am not here to list all your accomplishments because they speak for themselves. I am here to thank you for what has been accomplished thus far. You brought unity to the district and to the community by establishing focus groups of stakeholders to collaborate and get projects underway. The end result was the development of the district's mission and vision, the graduate profile, the completion of the sports complex aquatic center that will be here long after we all move on. Thank you for working closely with labor unions and the CBO to give staff a well-deserved and generous raise that was long overdue. Thank you for increasing parent involvement. For the first time in many years, we have a high level of parent collaboration and commitment. Thank you also for giving students a voice in their involvement in the focus groups and the superintendent's advisory team. Thank you for keeping safety at the forefront with the installation of the security system, which became a role model for other districts. Thank you for providing a safe learning environment where students could thrive and where teachers can focus on instruction without any fears and uncertainty. Thank you for placing the district on the map of excellence. Our schools were recipients of numerous awards and recognitions. In your quest for excellence, you raised the bar for everyone, and many administrators were also recognized for their leadership, including yourself. You were recognized for your leadership and were among the superintendents to watch, and the only one here in the state of California. No other superintendent at El Rancho has ever achieved this honor. You will be forever remembered for your integrity and adaptability to the fast-paced changes in education and for building strong collaborative relationships. You will be missed, but you will be remembered for keeping students' academic achievement at the center of your mission. There are many students and staff in other districts that will be very blessed and fortunate to be under your leadership. You forged many friendships in this community and earned the respect from those who understood your leadership and who also have students at the center of their hearts.
Please wrap it up.
Vaya con Dios, querido amigo. God bless you and be the beacon to guide others to the light. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marino. Moving on to Ms. Carolyn Castillo.
Good evening. Congratulations, Ms. Delgado. I wish you well. This will be challenging times, not only because of the district, but our current political environment will be a challenge for all. It was over 3 years ago that the previous school board decided to change the school district leadership for a cause due to behind the scenes issues and conflicts. A respected recruitment firm was selected to find a new leader. The process resulted in the hiring of Dr. Villegas. Today, Dr. Villegas' resignation was accepted, a loss to the El Rancho School District. The community needs to understand not why this happened, but rather to thank him what he has done for the district and the city. 3 words: character, competency, and integrity best describes the various characteristics demonstrated by Dr. Villegas' leadership that has changed the district. Dr. Villegas is honest, trustworthy, and uphold values while acting ethically. Character is important as a leader because it serves as a model for others to follow. There is no doubt Dr. Villegas is competent. He possesses the education and experience to lead a school district such as El Rancho. This is a critical skill in dealing with a changing environment and educational challenges. Integrity. This is the most critical leadership trait that makes or breaks an organization. Every action undertaken by Dr. Villegas takes into consideration what is right for the organization. This is demonstrated by his involvement with financial considerations in managing the district and bond projects. There are countless activities that have been completed over the last 3 years, and I cannot recite them all, but we can count the awards bestowed on the school districts, teachers, staff, and students, and applaud the completion of the El Rancho athletic field and pool. Without Dr. Villegas' leadership, none of this would have been accomplished. I will miss Dr. Villegas and his efforts to evolve the school district into one of the finest schools in the county. My best wishes to Dr. Vegas for whatever future endeavors he pursues. You have left El Rancho a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo. Next person, Mr. Fernando Islas.
Good evening. I want to start off by saying I'm thrown back. Ms. Soto Delgado, congratulations. I wasn't expecting that. I know it's an interim position, but I want to highly encourage the board to consider keeping her permanently, as I've interacted and engaged with Ms. Soto Delgado on several occasions, and she's on it. Um, like I mentioned, good evening. Wish I could say I was happy about the news, but the fact of the matter is, no one came out winning in this situation. I just wish Dr. Villegas well and look forward to what's to come. I want to remind Dr. Villegas that he is blessed. He has a beautiful, supportive family. I am sure he's going to continue to be successful in whatever endeavor he decides to take on. Minga, I wanted to voice this evening my concern for Minga coming into the middle schools. Not sure how I feel about more monitoring of our kids. And this isn't just visual supervision. I'm talking about the kids getting timed to go to the restroom. I'm talking about the system then producing a pattern to show when the child has excused themselves from class. I don't know. It just doesn't really sit well with me. It seems almost experimental. Um, I maybe understand it being used at the high school, seeing that I'm sure truancy is more prevalent, but at the middle school level, kind of seems excessive to me. Kind of reminds me of the detection dogs being used at the middle school. You know, the paraphernalia sniffing dogs. You run through the middle schools and high schools. I feel like you're doing more harm to these kids than good. Teaching them to be lenient with their Fourth Amendment search and seizure right, aside from submitting to law enforcement and authority. Um, if you can't keep tabs on some middle schoolers, it sounds like your problem is bigger than what it seems. And since I have some time, I want to reemphasize the keeping Pico Rivera's council away from our school events. They've sat around and as the Israelis began a bombing campaign on the Palestinians in Gaza, and they've done nothing. While several other cities around here have called for a ceasefire to end it, Pico Rivera has done nothing. Cudahy even went as far as to pass a resolution making sure their funds were being divested that are tied to Israeli companies, and Pico Rivera has done nothing. Even though around 20,000, over 20,000 children in these last 2 years have been killed by the terrorist Israeli state. They don't deserve to be around our kids. It's all for a photo shoot to advance their political career. But you would be helping advance Andrew Lada's political career, who has publicly voiced their support for the terrorist state of Israel. Have a great evening, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Islas. Up next, Ms. Cecilia Islas.
Good evening, everyone. I thought Dr. Villegas was going to be here, so I wrote my comment addressing him. So hopefully he sees this. Good evening, everyone. I originally thought about coming in here and just spewing negative things about Dr. Villegas. But then I thought he's human, he has a wife and kids and has feelings, and I began to feel bad. But then I remembered how he didn't care about my family, my kids, and did nothing to support us when we came to him for help. So my mind quickly changed, and I'm here to remind him and everyone here what a horrible superintendent he was, and how he lacked a backbone and accountability. His resignation is 2 years overdue. ERUSD staff and the superintendent are the ones who failed our daughters. If things would have been handled the way they should have from the beginning, the outcome would have been entirely different. As the superintendent of the school, you should have been leading the district by example. Dr. Villegas, at one point your office sent our daughter an invitation to be recognized as a student athlete. You later retracted that invitation that came from your office
without a valid reason. She had a 3.9 GPA and was an athlete. She met the requirements to receive an award. I asked you to call her and apologize for the mistake. You didn't call her. Instead, you had your Secretary Jenny call her and apologize on your behalf. You were supposed to be leading the district, but you couldn't simply make a call to your student apologizing for the mistake that came from your office. I asked you for a reason and you didn't have one. How did we expect these coaches, teachers, and administration and staff to hold themselves accountable when their leader himself didn't do it? At one of our meetings, Mr. Matthews told you that he believed our daughter should have been given everything you promised her and she deserved. Till this day, she hasn't. The day has finally come in where Superintendent Villegas has resigned from his position here at ERUSD. I want to welcome the person who will be taking Dr. Villegas' place and let them know that they have small shoes to fill. Thank you. I didn't know it was going to be Dr. Ms. Soto Delgado, but congratulations. I look forward to working with you. I know you're willing to work collaboratively, so congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Islas. Up next, we have Mr. Anthony Islas.
Again, congratulations, Doris Soto Delgado. For the board, it's 2 years too late. We've been going to this for about 19 months. So we've been to the ringer with this. Having Villegas resign / vote him out saves lives. His failure to advocate for students and fight for them is very shameful. It was just a matter of time before a student would do self-harm because he doesn't listen to them. He doesn't hear them. We could show him police video, evidence, camera. He can see a student cry. He still doesn't see it. To the board who wanted to extend his contract for 4 years, this is your guy. This is your ace in the hole. This is who you want to bat for you. You guys would rather put a student at risk before you listen to a parent. I mentioned at one of our board meetings that our campuses are not secure. I submitted photos of the campuses unlocked, gates open. 9 months after that meeting, ICE came and urinated all over the campus. Why? Because I have a bad idea. Because I want locks locked and I want gates closed. This is not the house of the Dons. This is not the home of the ranch. For our family, this is the house of victims. This is the house of nepotism. This is the house of sweeping things under the rug. Our children deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Islas. Next, we have Mr. Cesar Luna.
Good evening, and congratulations, Dora. Dora. Well, I'd like to start off with greeting everyone else and greeting everyone else that's here in this meeting. As a product of our Rancho Unified School District, while attending Valencia Elementary School, Rivera Junior High, El Rancho High, I wasn't aware of the superintendent's role. But now that I'm much older, what a challenging position it really is. Dr. Villegas came on board when we needed a change, and it was a change for the better. Hats off to Dr. Villegas for raising the bar with our school winning many awards, particularly the Golden Bell at Valencia. And I know that for a fact because you know where I live. And he has been able to establish a district that we can be proud of. A new stadium, a new field, a new beautiful parking lot. God knows we needed one. And a sense of pride. Plus, it gave us a new reputation. May the new superintendent achieve, or willing and able to achieve, half of what Dr. Villegas achieved here in this district in the short time that he was here to fill small shoes. So whomever comes next has a large pair of shoes to fill and may they do a good job may they do a good job at it. And Dr. Villegas, thank you for your service. It was very much needed and appreciated by the community and by the parents and by the stakeholders. You put your money where your mouth was, and it worked. It worked. We got our stadium. And plus, we got our pride back. And that's what El Rancho Unified School District runs on. It runs on pride. And all of us have it since we are part of this district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. Online, Mr. Victor Gonzalez. Okay, we're gonna wait. Maybe he disconnected, so we'll wait if he comes back online. I have one more. Dr. Francis Esparza, Superintendent of Coachella Valley Unified.
Good evening, board members, cabinet members, and all of the El Rancho community who is with us tonight. I'd like to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to the El Rancho Board of Education, President John Contreras, Esther Mejia, Hector Lafarga, and Christine Saavedra. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to the students, the staff, the parents, and the entire El Rancho community. Your leadership has shown integrity, courage, and above all, heart. In times when difficult decisions had to be made, you four stood together, you stood strong, and upheld the highest standards for the district, especially when it came to the role of the superintendent. Thank you for supporting me. By appointing Dora Delgado as the interim superintendent, you set a clear and powerful message to the entire El Rancho community that they deserve strong, compassionate, dedicated leadership. Dora embodies these values. When I was a superintendent of El Rancho Unified under a different board, I wanted Dora to serve as my deputy superintendent because of her outstanding work ethic and her dedication and her deep-rooted love for the El Rancho community. But it wasn't possible. So board members, your decision reflects not only on a wise choice, but also on a bold one that puts students first and recognizes the incredible talent within your community. Thank you for honoring the spirit of El Rancho that I know that I learned as a superintendent, and for showing all of us that your leadership is not just about policies, procedures, and politics. It's about people, purpose, and heart for that community. Thank you once again for your service as amazing El Rancho school members and your belief in the. Thank you so much, and continue to make El Rancho strong. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Esparza. Do we have Mr. Victor Gonzalez back online? No? Okay. No problem. That concludes our public comments for the day or for the night. We're going to go ahead and move on to item number 11, Labor Association reports. We'll start with, whichever one wants to start first. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Dora. I look forward in meeting with you hopefully on a monthly basis, like I did with Dr. Vegas. Okay. Good evening, Board of Education, Cabinet, District staff, and community members. On behalf of Rancho Chapter 107, I'd like to take a moment to express our sincere gratitude to Superintendent Dr. Marco Villegas for his more than 3 years of dedicated service of our Rancho Unified School District. During his tenure, Superintendent Dr. Villegas oversaw major accomplishments that will leave a lasting impact on our district, including the completion of the sports and food complex at our Rancho High School, the groundbreaking of the new multi-purpose rooms and the recognition of several of our schools as schools to watch. These milestones represent meaningful progress for our students, staff, and community. And finally, a superintendent to watch. Superintendent Dr. Vegas, we thank you for your leadership and commitment to our Rancho family. We wish you continued success in your next chapter of your career. Thank you. Okay. A couple items here. November 10th is coming. I talked to the cabinet about the November 10th. I think that's the day before Veterans. We're looking to see maybe some type of training. I don't know if we're still going to be looking into that. I know Dr. Vegas was. Don't know where we're going to be going with this. So hopefully we could work on that as soon as possible, since the 11th is a holiday. We could look at CPR, first aid, CPI training, and then we talked about the job study. Hopefully we could do some job descriptions. We talked to Mr. Matthews. We're looking at doing the paraprofessionals, which is probably what the most that the district needs, since we're having issues hiring our aides. They're just not wanting to either. We're just struggling. So I think that's one of the ones that we have to really work on. Also, about a couple years ago, I'm not sure if it was last year, year before, there was a FICMAT report done on HR. HR is separated right now. They're in two different offices. We need to try to get them into one office. We do feel a separation there of where the personnel secretaries are and where Mr. Matthews and his two other staff are. So we get them into one building, working together. I think things are running a lot smoother, at least for HR. They're doing a good job being separated, but it's an important department, and we feel they need to get in there. And that's part of the FICMAT report. Also about the FICMAT report, it also talked about the job descriptions, which we're already starting in talks about that to get them updated, because they're all outdated. We have some back from the 70s. So hopefully we get those going. Also, we have 3 school police officers and 1 chief. We should have 4 classified police officers. Hopefully we could bring that 4th police officer as soon as possible. It's for our safety, the safety for our kids, our staff, and community. I think that's all I have for now, other than thank you. Congratulations, Dora, and hope to see you soon. Oh, also one more thing. Sorry. There is the board did approve body cameras and tasers. I do have some questions, so I'm going to go ahead and hand these out to the board members, to Dora as well, and to Mr. Matthews. Hopefully I get some answers on some of these. Let me hand these out. I know you guys are working on the policies and procedures for the school police, so hopefully you guys will know once you guys get that squared away, you negotiate that with the with CSCA. We do have a policy procedure handbook here that was created back in 2003. So hopefully we get that all updated. I understand this was 40 something pages, and I think Chief Gomez said it was 500 pages. Wow. So that's gonna be a good one to negotiate. And I think that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much.
President of ERFT, Ms. Lilia Carrion.
Good evening, Arancho community. I'm Lilia Carrion, president of Arancho Federation of Teachers, and I just like to wish Dr. Vegas well. He did work with ERT. He did include us in cabinet meetings, and he did give nice pay raises for our membership, so we do appreciate that. Also, we wish Dora well in her new endeavor, and I hope that we continue to have a good working relationship. You've been very helpful to ERT for many, many years, so good luck and enjoy your new job. I do have some issues. Today we did have a union meeting. One issue that did come up, and I need to now talk to Dora, then I have to talk to Dean, is about safety. We need to reconvene our safety committee meeting again, or meetings again. And one of the issues that we're facing that the younger kids are coming in with very disruptive behaviors that need some tender loving care, especially with the TK and the kinder and the first graders. And my members said that there is support. We have the individuals, the behavior techs and the aides and so forth, but it isn't enough personnel to handle the rise of kids having issues or transitioning into a school setting. So I hope that we can, as soon as you're available, the two of you, that we need to discuss that. I have to agree with my sibling over here about HR. HR really does need to get back to being a team. It doesn't really help with the running of the district of having so many departments all over Pico Rivera. So hopefully we can make that happen. It helps with the running of the offices and handling issues that arise really quickly. Thank you to the board to agreeing to our tentative agreement, especially with the SLPs. That's been a difficult process the last year and a half. We hope to, I need to give Mark a copy of all the different things that we agreed to get the agreement out to our membership so we can vote. And then hopefully the board votes on it officially and then get the next necessary funding that we agreed to our members. We hope to get that going by January. Okay, and I'll be talking to Gio too. Just a little bit of highlights of what's been occurring around. This is what my membership shared with me today. Durfee had a family reading night, was quite successful. It was led by the librarian tech and the family liaison. It was quite successful, and I want to encourage our families to love reading. South Ranchito is celebrating Hispanic Month. They've had a fiesta, food, people, the Hispanic culture is a variety of cultures. And so it was a smorgasbord of flavors that was stated today. And I guess this week they will be doing different types of performances from the homeland of the students' families. Bernie, I saw on the agenda that you're voting on having the Long Beach Theater work with Bernie. I know last year was very successful and it was a great experience for our elementary kids. So I hope you vote on that. I believe that they're going to be performing The Frog and the Toad this year. And they hope, my rep said that to extend the invitation to all of you in the community to attend the performance in Long Beach. Our Rancho Adult School, they're working on ESL, they're doing satellite classes. They're having classes for our parents at South Ranchito and Valencia. So we hope that our parents and families, if adult schools all the way down the south end of the city, that they have someplace closer that they can attend the classes. And then at STEAM, I believe November 7th is a Dia de los Muertos that they'll be having on campus. And then I know I butcher this word all the time, but the mariachis, the kids, did I say that right? Because sometimes I butcher it. I know I do. Yeah, I'm sorry. I always kill it. But the kids will be performing at the San Gabriel Mission Playhouse on November 12th, and I hope we go and support them because that's a good honor for our community. And I believe that's it. I do have a question on the agenda. Last item was to turn it in. It's, if I'm reading this correctly, our Rancho High School's paying for that, but I was wondering why are they using their school funding for something that is so important now that other schools can use? Especially now that we're dealing with AI and chat TPT, and so forth. So that if the district can absorb the cost, which frees up money for other things that the high school can purchase. And lastly, I wish everyone, the last thing, I know this is political, but please vote. Make sure you turn in your ballot, Prop 50, and make sure that you get that mailed by November 4th. It has to be postmarked by November 4th. And I know Peak Rivera has quite a few boxes around. I know there's one at Smith Park, and then there's another ballot box over there by Rivera Library, I believe. Is that the only one? Those are two, right? Which is Pico Park? And the library. Oh yeah, the library. So make sure that you go out and vote. I know everybody has their own way of voting, but please keep democracy alive by keeping on voting. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Carrion. I believe that will do it for our Labor Association reports. Going on to item 12, information items. Item A, presentation of the 2025-2026 demographic study of the Board of Education by Schoolworks, Inc. So I'll go ahead and
GR, you able to bring up the other?
Good evening, Board of Education, cabinet members, congratulations, Dora, and community members. I'd like to introduce Ken Reynolds from Schoolworks. He is our approved demographer. We had done an RFP, and they had previously, a year and a half ago, performed an initial demographic study for the district. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it to him, and then we'll have an opportunity for questions. You have the PowerPoint as well as the actual study, and go ahead and start.
Good evening. It's wonderful to be here with you to share our study. Again, my presentation is a high-level overview of our full report. The full report is attached for your reference.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're fine.
And so our demographic study takes a look at enrollment patterns. Right. Back here. All right, there we go. And so there's several factors we look at when we try to do enrollment projections because we want it to be as accurate as possible. And so one of those key components is, again, looking at the enrollment history and see how those attendance patterns change and the enrollment numbers change over time. And then the other two important factors are how many births are occurring in the community, and then how many of those births generate students 4 years later for TK or 5 years later for kindergarten. And then, of course, we look at any new homes being built within the in the community and what their impact is and how many students they generate. So all of that analysis is done by school boundary area. And then after that analysis is done, then we factor in all the choices parents get to make. And so that is our interdistrict and intradistrict enrollment when a student is attending a school different than the boundary they live in. So we look at all those components in our study. We do our analysis in a computerized mapping system. And so this here just shows you a map of your school district area, and that tan color represents the area that your district serves. All those red dots represent where students lived during this school year back in October. I guess we're still in October. And so you will notice that there are dots that are outside the district, and those are the students that are attending your schools from outside your district. We refer to those as inter-district transfers. There are actually 228 students living outside your boundaries that attend your schools. So this next chart, I think no, there we go, yeah, is our birth rate analysis. And so the blue line that you see running across the top of this page shows how many births occur each year. And that's based on the mother's zip code when a child is born. We get that from the Department of Health. Those blue bars represent our kindergarten enrollment over the last 10 years or so. And so we can see the number of births has been declining and our kindergarten enrollment's also been declining. And then those yellow bars are our projected kindergarten enrollments. And again, we can see that the numbers are still continuing to drop a little bit. And the slight red area you see on top of those yellow bars is the impact of new housing development. Again, there's not a whole lot of development going on. And so there is just a little bit of impact, but it's not significant. So then next, we also look at the same information for our TK class. That's our 4-year-olds. So here we can see we've actually seen a little bit of an increase over the last few years in our TK enrollment. And that's because we used to only educate 3 of the 12 birth months. But now starting this year, all 4-year-olds are able to attend. So we said we've seen a little bit of an increase as that program has expanded the last couple of years. But we are seeing that drop in the number of births. So the numbers we anticipate will be even smaller than they were this year. But on the other hand, right, that's the most uncertain of all of our projections, right? Because the number of students attending TK, even though all 4-year-olds are eligible now, the number is quite a bit less than the number of students we have in kindergarten, right? It's not mandatory. We still have competition with preschools programs, and getting the 4-year-olds off to school can sometimes be a lot more of a challenge than those 5-year-olds. And so again, as the word gets out there, is the TK programs become more well known across our state, I think those numbers do have an opportunity to increase. But again, in all districts, we're seeing those numbers come in below what we originally anticipated we might see for our TK classes. So next is a illustration of 2 items. The green bars represents the enrollment this school year by grade level. So we can see which grades are larger than the others. And of course, the common theme is, right, our younger children are smaller class sizes than our older grades. And that is a common theme throughout our state as the number of births has been dropping. And that what we're comparing that to on this chart are that blue line with the boxes. That represents how many children were in kindergarten when that grade started in your district. And so you can see that for the most part, especially through our K through 7th grade, our current enrollment is almost identical to the number of students we started with. So that's telling me we have a great retention, right? We're retaining those students. But it's also saying that, the classes are going to get smaller because we're starting with smaller classes. The numbers aren't quite as consistent in our upper grades. And so by the time our kids are reaching high school, we don't have the same retention level. So the result of our entire analysis is summarized on this one chart. This is illustrating 10 years of historic enrollment and 6 years into the future. The orange color are our elementary grades. The green color are our middle school grades, and the blue color is our high school grades. So again, we've seen a lot of decline over the last 10 years, and we're going to continue seeing some more decline into the future. So these next few slides are just a sample of some of the detail that's in our full report. So for every school in the district, we're going to have this map that shows that school's boundary and their attendance patterns. Those red dots are students that live in that boundary and attend that school. Whereas if you see blue dots in that boundary, they're enrolled in your school district, but attending a different school in your district. And then if you see any yellow dots outside their boundary, right, they live in a different school boundary, but they're attending that school. And then that chart just illustrates which schools they're coming or going from or going to. So again, a lot of detailed data if you want to dive into that type of information. And then also for each school, we have the actual enrollment projection. And so in this first example, I used South Ranchito. There's 3 key lines on this chart. That again, that blue line represents who's living in that boundary. The red line is who attends, and then the black line is our school capacity. It's actually just the classroom capacity, and it's based on the loading standards you see here. Again, we use a conservative loading standard. It's not always achievable to make sure every classroom is loaded to its maximum teacher contract standards. And so in this one example, right, we can see that blue line is declining. So our population within their boundary is dropping. But that red line is showing our enrollment's pretty consistent. They usually get a lot of transfers in, especially at this school, that's helped offsetting that decline in their boundary population. And then the other example I had was at the high school. Here we see that they have been declining and are continuing to decline. And here we, of course, we see the 2 lines very parallel, right? Because you just have the one high school. The main difference between that blue line and the red line are those enrolled at your other high school. And so the one reason I really wanted to illustrate the high school is one of the common themes throughout our state right now is the population in our high schools has reached its bubble and is now starting to decline. And so all those smaller bursts that we've seen on my charts, right, those are finally starting to work their way into our high school populations. And so statewide, again, our high schools have reached their peak and now we're seeing the decline start to occur. And so all of this information can be summarized on this attendance matrix. So if you want to dive into the details of comparing where the students live versus where they go to school, one of the interesting facts I wanted to point out on this page was the opportunity your families have in selecting where they go to school. Down at near the bottom, we talk about our number of percentage of students that are transferring in and out of your schools, right? And the transfers between schools is basically right around 18%. So almost 1 out of every 5 children is going to a school different than their home school. So again, lots of great programs you offer, lots of different types of programs. And so your community is taking advantage of those opportunities you offer. So this next one is our last page in this report. It's our projections by school. And so we have a lot of different summary charts within our comprehensive report. If you want to see information by grade level, you want it summarized by school. One of the important things to look at on the bottom of this chart is the net impact, right? And of course, it's really important for GEO when we're doing the budgeting, right? This next year, right, we're projecting a loss of another 200 students. And so as we're losing students, it impacts the budget. The other thing I wanted to point out is a lot of times we get asked the question, well, where are those 200 students going, right? If they're not here, where are they? And so one thing we look at when we're doing that type of research is looking at census data. When we look at census data, again, we're looking at the, that's done every 10 years. So we don't have data for this particular school year. But that data categorizes and shows us the number of children by age that live within your community. And when we compare that to who was enrolled, you came in at a 90% attendance factor. So when we compare your enrollment to the population within the community of school-age children, right, 90%. So that's telling me you have a great attendance ratio. When we look at our statewide average, it's only 80%. And usually there's about 12% on top of that that are attending charter schools. And then the other 8% are in either in private schools or a homeschool program. And so with all the programs you offer, I think you're doing great. So, right, those 200 kids aren't there choosing something different than you. It is just the drop in the number of children being born each year is having a cumulative effect that our community has just fewer children living here. And so that's the real source of the problem. So it's not something we can fix, right? Until birth rates patterns change. But again, it's obviously something that has to be factored into your planning efforts. And so that's our presentation. Again, we have all this information in a computerized system. We're here to support you throughout the year. So I did let Geo know if there's additional calculations that need to be run. If you're curious how many kids live in a certain area or dive deeper into the data, we have it all in a computerized system. We can provide additional assistance as needed.
Mr. Reynolds, thank you so much for the presentation, for being so detailed, and some of the explanations you gave, helped me make sense of some of the information you were given. I'm going to open up to the board for questions. Trustee Saavedra, or comments?
Thank you. This information was, I mean, I really applaud you for the work you guys took on here. I'm glad it was so comprehensive, because we could see that, the lower enrollment, like you see, a loss of 100 students at South Ranchito, but you see that at Rivera, their neighbor school, they increase, right? Maybe 50, and then Valencia increase 75. So you can see where the offset. If you go just by what you hear, you would think there was thousands of, hundreds of students that lived in the El Rancho High School area that were going to other schools. And then looking at this, and you realize, okay, well, that's definitely not the case. So this is really good information. I think it was overdue. I don't know how long it's been. I've never seen a study like this. Well, it's my first year, right? But I appreciate it, and thank you. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. Trustee Mejia?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I have a quick question. If you could go to the slide where you showed the intra, ins, and the, well, I think it was
Is that on
second to the last.
attendance,
attendance
page 11?
Yeah.
Attendance matrix?
So on that one, you show the inter-ins, but what about the outs? Any information on how many students transferred out to other districts? Do we have that information?
I do not have that information. The information we have comes from the students that are enrolled in your district. And so we're collecting the data from your enrollment system. So if they're not enrolled in your district, we don't have that data. That's why I shared with you the information from the census, so we can understand who lives in the community versus who's enrolled. And so that's that 90% ratio I was telling you about.
Right, and I believe that there is like a process that you have to.
Yes, we have that information through student support services. So we do have students that leave on an inter-district permit. We'll have it by grade level, reason, school they're selecting, all that information. So I can get that to you.
That'd be great. So I think that's also important data for us to also review. My next question is regarding, as far as I know you mentioned if there's new houses built, possible families coming in. So the new homes that are being built, those are taken into considerations, the ones on Durfee and the ones that are being built on Roseby as well?
Yes.
And then I think this is a comment, I think, to cabinet and our new superintendent. As far as I know that we have that enrollment growth committee, and I might have the title wrong, but it's definitely something I'm hoping. I know that this is going to go to the 7-Eleven committee, but I'm hoping that it also goes to them as well, the information, if there's consensus with the board. And also looking at South Ranchito, a lot of students are, yes, there's students that are attending them, but that we're losing a lot of them too. I think that we need to explore monolingual students. Some parents want those type of classrooms. And I know that, you can have monolingual classes there, and it's something we need to revisit that because you might be able to retain more students there at their own school site, but they don't want dual enrollment. They want monolingual. And again, they go hand in hand because they learn from each other. I've seen that at other school districts, and I believe that's something we need to relook at. Those were my questions and comments. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, Trustee LaForga.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. Piggyback on Trustee Mejia's comment around students that attend other districts, and I know that that's data that you don't have. But you do these studies for other districts, right? So are we losing as many students as they are, or like what's in like-sized districts? Like where are we with in that number?
If you look at the state average, it's usually about 3% population that comes in and out of each district. And your incoming is just over 3%.
Okay.
So you're slightly above average. So your number going out, I think, is going to be below average, just because of that 10% ratio. And when we look at inter-districts, right, that's only representing those that get your permission to leave your district to go somewhere else.
Right.
If you're enrolled in a private school or a charter school, you won't be on an inter-district. You don't need your approval. And so the ones that actually are getting your approval, I would imagine is only going to be 1 or 2%. But said they'll be able to share you what your actual data is, but that would be
your best guess.
My best guess based on the other statistics I've seen.
And thank you for that. And in terms of just overall decline in enrollment for a like-sized district as well, are we also kind of on the average? You can't compare us to an LAUSD that's going to lose 18% or however much, a lot more students. But where are we in given all these dynamics with like-sized cities and districts?
Yeah, there's districts that are losing a lot more than you. And he said it's a challenge because the key indicator there is that birth data. Your birth data has dropped, and pretty significantly, but not as much as other communities. So your numbers look like they're sort of stabilizing almost. But again, it's too early to tell, right? Because the birth data we collect, won't help. The kids coming into your TK and kindergarten classes in our 6-year projections have not been born yet. And so we're having to make a lot of assumptions the farther out we go. That's why we don't go out beyond 6 years, is because we're really, about 50% of your number is based on assumptions and guesses instead of actual data. And so again, I think you're faring better than the average community in Southern California in terms of the overall decline rate. You're not declining as much as others are.
Thank you. That's good news in some ways, right? Yes, Chip.
I can also, if you would like, if the board would like, I have been tracking some like-size districts as you put. I can provide that in the board update just so you can see. It's not the most current with these numbers for this fiscal year, but at least you can see the trend from prior years, so that you can analyze that as well.
Thank you. I guess my last question, you may not have this readily available. You did this 2 years ago, the study?
I believe so.
A year and a half ago? So it's hard to say, like, how accurate were you on this year out? Projection.
I didn't bring the numbers, but when I remember reviewing it, it was very close.
Yeah.
It was almost spot on. It was within probably just 1 or 2%.
Okay, thank you for that. And my last question is, I guess, for staff, for those students that are moving within our district in different schools, like if we could get information or just a report on the main reasons why, there's a lot going on there, right?
We do have school of choice process, so we do start that in February and allow families to choose or select a different school. It's minimal. So I would like to see how we got that data, because they may be using maybe a different, like somebody else's address, home residence, but maybe an aunt or uncle live in another area. I'm not sure, because it's very minimal in terms of school of choice.
And I have a question. That includes special education programs, correct? So kids have been transferred to a school site for a program that is not offered in their home school.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right, yeah, my numbers include that too, yes.
Yeah.
And I do have the number for inter-district permits. We have 134 that were issued this school year, which is 1.9%.
Okay. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. And I'm sure you can see by the questions we're asking is we're more concerned with the students, even though it'd be small. For us, one student leaving our district is a lot. So we're trying to retain as many as possible. Being also that we have districts within our area that are increasing in students. So you say you get most of your data, or you get some of your data from the census. Do you use or can you use other data, being that we're living in an ever-changing world? It seems like every 3 months our data is updating more and more. Is there the possibility of you using more updated information so we can get more precise data?
That seems like a little bit of a trick question. We use the October data. So we're again, the census is a one point in time thing I look at so I can understand, right? Is there a big opportunity for you to do better marketing of your programs to attract more students? And so that's the main reason I look at the census. The census is not technically used in my projections. I use your real data, multiple years of students tracking how the impacts of mobility and all the other things that occur within your community. So again, we strive to have an accuracy rate of 1% or less in our 1-year projections. And again, we're not offering a range of projections, all right? It could be anywhere from here to here. We're showing you our best analysis, and then things will vary, obviously. A lot of it based on parent choices. But yeah, the change in enrollment of your school during the school year is not really factored into our analysis, and those patterns are typically pretty consistent for whatever your school district happens to see during the school year. But that would require multiple years of different points in time, and so it becomes a much more technical analysis that I think doesn't provide the value of the core information that we're trying to share in our reports.
Thank you so much again for the presentation. We appreciate it. I just need one more question, but it's directed also to our superintendent. Can we get the process as far as when I guess a family or student applies to transfer to a different district, what the policy or what the process is, I guess. Can you give the board a copy of that, please?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you again for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Moving on to item B, presentation of the CAS assessment data.
Good evening, school board members, cabinet, and community. Tonight, we have the opportunity to present to you our 2025 CAS data, and this data illustrates our students' performance on the CAS for this past year. Please note that now this data is available on the CAS public reporting. Should anyone in our community want to look deeper into our data or review it, they are able to do so. So the CAS suite of assessments offers crucial insight into student progress towards college and career readiness upon high school graduation. Ultimately, this data empowers schools to implement targeted interventions, ensuring all students have the opportunity to succeed academically and graduate from high school ready to reach the real world with skills that are going to ensure their success. The CAS data is a vital tool for educators. By analyzing this data, teachers and principals can pinpoint student strengths and identify areas needing improvement, enabling them to implement targeted interventions that boost student achievement. Beyond individual classroom insight, CAS data offers valuable perspective on students' progress across academic years, allowing schools to measure which programs are effective from one year to the next. Also, it helps schools evaluate how well the curriculum aligns with the state standards and fine-tune those instructional strategies to get the biggest impact. I'll hand it over to Ms. Castañón for the elementary scores.
Thank you. So now we're looking at the percentage of our 3rd and 5th grade students who met or exceeded standards in elementary English language arts over the last 3 years. Overall, our elementary students have shown growth, particularly at the 4th and 5th grade levels. This reflects the positive impact of our focus on foundational literacy and consistent implementation of standard-based instruction. While we're seeing good progress, there are still opportunities to strengthen early literacy skills. When comparing the data for the past 3 years, we can see that there was a 2% increase in the number of 3rd grade students meeting or exceeding standards from 22-23 to 24-25. There was also a 9% increase in 4th grade from 37% to 46%, as well as a 1% decrease for our 5th grade students in the same time frame, but a 4% increase from 23-24 to 24-25. Now, let's look at the same data as a cohort. When we look at this as cohort data, the gray diagonal boxes represent last year's 5th grade cohort. We see that there was a 7% increase for that cohort of students who were 3rd graders in 22-23 when compared to them as 5th graders in 24-25. Let's now look at the math data for our elementary students. This slide shows our elementary math performance across the past 3 years. Similar to ELA, we see strong gains in the 4th grade level, with an 11% increase from our 22-23 school year to the 24-25 school year. Our continued emphasis on number sense, conceptual understanding, and math strategies has contributed to this improvement. However, 3rd grade continues to be an area where students need additional support as they transition from learning basic math skills to applying them in more complex ways. 5th grade students also demonstrated a 5% increase from 20% to 25% when looking at the 3-year span. However, when we look at the cohort data, we see a decrease. For example, look at the gray boxes diagonally. We can see that 31% of last year's 5th grade cohort were meeting or exceeding standards as 4th graders in the 23-24 school year. But as 5th graders in the 24-25 school year, only 25% met or exceeded standards, showing a 6% decline over time. To summarize, our elementary highlights include a 12% increase in ELA and an 11% increase in math at the 4th grade level, as well as steady growth over 3 years in the 5th grade cohort. These results reflect the hard work of our teachers and the success of our intervention systems. However, we still see room for growth in 3rd grade ELA and math, where foundational skills are critical for long-term success. This is where we'll continue to focus targeted supports and early interventions. Ms. Chavez-Diaz will now share the secondary data with you.
So this slide provides a 3-year grade level comparison for ELA. When comparing 2024 CAS scores to the 2025 CAS scores, we see 1% decline in 6th grade. 7th grade performance has increased by 5%, and at the 8th grade level, we see the performance is at 31%. So we like to look at the data in 2 different ways, both from year to year in 6th grade level, but also, as Ms. Castellon shared, through cohort. So if you look at the data in a cohort comparisons, you can follow again the gray boxes. You can see that our 8th grade students went from 28% to 31%, and our 7th grade students went from 34% in 6th grade to 38%. So both groups showed growth in those areas. Our 6th grade students and some grade, from 6th grade. When we shoot over to math, in middle school math, we see 4% growth in 6th grade from last year. 7th grade performance remained the same, and 8th grade performance increased by 4%. If we look at the cohort comparison, when we look at the gray boxes, we can see that we have progressed from 16% in sixth grade to 26% in eighth grade. So that cohort has shown a 10% improvement over the last 2 years. Our current seventh graders, white boxes, increased 9% from sixth grade. So some highlights and areas for growth include a 4% increase in math in both sixth and eighth grade. Seventh grade cohort showed 4% growth in ELA and 6% growth in math, and a 5% increase in seventh grade ELA. We still do have some room for growth in sixth and eighth grade ELA. Finally, we can move over to high school. So when we look at the high school performance, we took a slight dip of 4% from 54% in 23-24 to 50% in 24-25. In math, you can see that we increased 1%, but we've made a 7% increase over the last 3 years. So while we have seen, one more. While we have seen, oh, go back. There you go. While we have seen overall growth at the high school level, we continue to work to increase our performance, particularly in math. We're proud of that 7% grade, but we want to be sure that we're reaching county, state, and exceeding those levels.
Okay. So here we're looking at the CAT science results across all tested grade levels in science. I want to point out that if an 11th grade student does not take the science test in 11th grade, they will be tested as seniors as they have to take the test before they finish high school. The introduction of NGSS aligned activities and cross-curricular integration has helped students better understand scientific concepts and practices. You can see there's a 6% increase of fifth grade students meeting or exceeding standards from 22% in 22-23 to 28% in 24-25, and a 1% increase at the high school level. In summary, our science scores improved at each grade level from 23-24 to 24-25, which is a positive trend we want to build upon. At the same time, there's still room for growth in all grades. Our next steps include expanding professional learning opportunities around NGSS, increasing lab-based instruction, and connecting science more intentionally with literacy and math to support comprehension across content areas. Looking ahead, our focus remains on using data to guide instruction and accelerate student learning. First, we'll continue to use multiple data sources, including iReady, interim assessments, and classroom data to identify students' needs in real time and adjust instruction accordingly. Second, we'll strengthen our tiered interventions so that students receive timely targeted supports before gaps widen. We're also investing in science of reading professional development to ensure that our literacy instruction is grounded in research and effective practices. At the secondary level, we'll be adopting new math textbooks and transitioning to a traditional math pathway, which will provide stronger coherence and alignment across grades. In closing, we want to thank our teachers, administrators, support staff, and families for their continued commitment to student achievement. The growth that we're seeing is a reflection of everyone's hard work, collaboration, and dedication to our student success. Thank you for your ongoing support in helping every student at El Rancho Unified reach their fullest potential.
Once again, thank you for the presentation and the information given. I'll open up for questions. Trustee Saavedra?
Hi, thank you again. I always love hearing you guys report on CASP and DLAC and DAC and all that good stuff. So one thing is, and I'm gonna make a plug for January 24th. Everyone save the date because the date was sent out for Family ERUSD Family Connect, which was formerly Parent Summit. And I really hope that we can showcase the various pathways that we have across the district to our families from from whatever programs we have all the way up. I hope that we can put the give the parents the proper tools so that they know, almost like an org chart of my kid's struggling, what do I do? And I know you guys do a very good job of it, but just really put an emphasis on the different type of tutor supports and like and I love them to death. You know, I always talk about the prep program after school that offers drop-in tutoring for free for anyone that comes, any student that wants to come by, and snacks, right? I would also like to see, I know that you're using a lot of data to drive, and there's a lot of tiered interventions coming more for students, but I know it might have been said before, but I'm new, so I'll say it. So the reading program that we use in the elementary school, it doesn't carry on to the high school. And so I'm sure that there might be teachers that could use it. And right now my brain just went into I can't think of the name. Thank you. Yes, yes. So if I don't know if there's a huge cost to that, or what would be the limitations of
Accelerated readers used at the ninth
yes,
grade level.
not you, so they can use it if they want to.
It's part of the ninth grade curriculum. They
And it
use
only goes up to ninth grade?
That's what, yeah, it's only ever gone to up to ninth grade.
Oh, and so if somebody, like, let's say I was a teacher and I wanted to use it in the 11th grade just as a tool for my classroom to gauge my class, I wouldn't be able to.
We use the star screener to gauge the kids' performance. That's also part of the Renaissance Suite. AR is usually provided in class time instruction. We have not received a request from any other grade level to use it as part. They use different programs, like they build like using Membean, ListenWise, which are other programs that hit the different claims within the CAS. But ninth grade is used by all. Sorry, ninth grade does use AR, accelerated reader.
Yes, you just gave me a flashback of, did you do your Membeam already?
Yes.
Um,
So they
with my
use they
kids,
choose
yes,
choose
but yeah.
those different programs to supplement. And we did reach out to the middle schools and let them know that if there's any kids that are interested in accelerated reader, just to send on their name so we can give them access.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saavedra. Trustee Mejia?
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It's nice to see growth. We celebrate that growth, we welcome it, and we look forward to seeing more growth. Glad to see that there's strategies in place to have that continued growth. So I know that Go Math has been the curriculum that we have right now. How often do we assess it? Only because I know that some teachers are supplementing with Eureka. So I'm thinking, what's the fidelity to Go Math? If other teachers are using Eureka instead to supplement.
So teachers use different materials to supplement our existing curriculum, both in math and other subject areas as well. We are looking to adopting new math curriculum, but I'm going to use the word unfortunately, we also need to adopt curriculum for social studies for our elementary students. And one of the challenges teachers face in elementary is that they're responsible for teaching all subject areas. So we just adopted science. We're training them in PD to implement the science. Next year, we're going to start social studies and then math. So it's just 1 year after another. And with so many new initiatives and programs, we felt it would be overwhelming for teachers to start training with the new science program and ask them to pilot a social studies program so that we can move forward with math. So we're trying to balance it and hear the feedback we get from principals and teachers on what we need. But you are correct. Teachers do supplement not only with Eureka, but other different resources. Right. And we want to make sure students are engaged in math and in other areas so that they can learn in math and be engaged in their lessons.
Right. And I know that you have PD or time for the teachers to get together as far as like, second grade, third grade. So do they have enough time, do you feel, so they could collaborate? Some teachers might be doing
there's never enough time. There's never enough time. And even though they do have opportunities on Wednesdays to meet, I know some principals do take time during the school day to pull them out so they do have time to collaborate. We can meet with them after school, but we do want to respect their time. They are tired. It is a long day, but we do hope we do with the modified Wednesdays, times to collaborate, to work with each other. There is a lot of training. You'll probably hear from teachers. We were unable to meet. We're doing Getting Reading Right. We have the training with iReady. The principal pulled us for this, and there's training for social emotional and whatnot. So although we try to give them the time, it is a very, very busy school year for them and for everyone.
Got it. Thank you. My last comment slash request would be, as far as iReady, I know that students already tested, so may the board receive some information on how they did. That's one. And then the other one is the interim assessment, just data on that as well.
So it'll be in the board update this week. Because we're implementing iReady, we wanted our teachers to really focus on those pieces. We won't be offering the first interim for ELA math at the middle school and elementary level. At the high school, the ELA teachers are taking the first interim. Math isn't, because they're doing the piloting and they're moving but what we would like to share with you is we want to share the first diagnostic that they took, and that's just our baseline, but we want to compare it to our second diagnostic so that you have some data. We can include in the board update just some updates in terms of like the iReady use and that kind of thing. We can provide that for you, no problem. The other thing I was going to share, Ms. Mejia, is you're absolutely right. We need to have more time. One of the things that we offered this semester, and we're going to offer throughout the year, is when we were doing Universal Design for Learning training, the UDL teacher said, this is great, but then I go back to my site and I don't have time to plan, or, there's only 2 second grade teachers here. We would like a bigger team. So this year we're offering our teachers time to be pulled out of the classroom to come to the district office, work with our TOSAs to create UDL lessons that they can implement. So we're having signups for our teachers. It's going to be throughout the year so that they get that time to really dive deep into their lesson planning.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mejia. Trustee LaForga?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentations, expressing some of the same sentiments to see gains for our students, and support for information around what we're doing and the strategies to offset some of or to take on some of the declines. I did want to peel back the onion a little bit on elementary math, 3rd grade to 5th grade cohort. And that's I think that was a 12% decline from 3rd grade to 5th grade.
One more.
That one.
Yeah.
Just wanted to peel back the onion and just could get your perspective on what you felt contributed to that decline year over year.
I wish I could tell you and pinpoint the exact reason why the decline. I'm sure there's different factors involved with sometimes students, the different teaching practices, the way students are engaged. And overall, the standards get more difficult and challenging, then go from basic computation to being able to apply it with decimal fractions, word problems, multi-step mathematic equations, where sometimes they may have difficulty. And although we could say they're multiplying, maybe the second step is to also divide to answer the word problem. And they may get one part of it correct, but not the second. And so that's why I'm going to make an assumption of why the decline. So sometimes the standards get more difficult for the students, and is a possible reason for that decline. And we are trying to offer them different interventions during the school day as well as after school with high dosage tutoring, so that we can target our students in the upper grades to increase. And I think that's one of the challenges. When they're young, they want to participate in tutoring because they want to do well. But then as they get older, they'd rather do other after school activities to stay engaged in school. So we're trying different programs so that they participate in tutoring.
So we offer the tutoring, but you're saying as they get older, they're like, maybe I don't want.
Yeah, so we're doing high dosage tutoring with smaller groups
Okay.
with them and interventions. We are encouraging our own teachers to hopefully be able to work with their students, and they're the ones who are aware of what the students needs and what support that they can give them. Unfortunately, sometimes there's previous commitments that they have. So we're working with a third party providers to be able to support our students.
Yeah, thank you for that. I just hope that we kind of seen that it's
too.
a challenge, right?
Yes.
We got to narrow that loss.
Correct.
Of learning. Thank you. That's all.
Again, thank you for the information. I believe, what the general concern is, and what we hear, or at least what I hear, there's so many programs and they want to kind of condense everything in together. But we hear you guys are already working on that, right? As far as getting together, and again, teachers do not have time, and God bless the teachers because they do not have time. I agree with them 100%. Is there some place of like best practices or somewhere where we can share information with something's going on great over at Burke, if we can share over at North Ranchito when they do have time on their own time to be able to, hey, let's see what is there something already out there?
Yes.
So-
in the middle school.
Yes, if I could just choose to highlight the middle school. So we do have the cohorts where they come together about 7 times a year. So
Okay.
not every single month, we, lay off a couple months like
Right.
December, but they come together. Our TOSAs lead them, and that's where they break down CAS data.
Yes.
They share best practices. We have other teachers present to each other, like, here's a vocabulary routine that goes
Right.
really well for me. Here's a math process that I'm using. That's really our time to collaborate. This year, we took the ELA cohort because again, we didn't want to take more time for our teachers. So during the ELA cohort, they're doing the getting reading right training. So all of our teachers district wide, just the way they're trained in UDL, will also be trained in getting reading right, science of reading strategies. But that's where that happens, where they share best practices. We've also been able to do it with iReady now because we pull out the teachers based on their subject area. So we have the math teachers in one room getting trained, and we have the English teachers in another room. And that's where they're talking about, hey, I tried this as an incentive for
Yeah.
kids, or like last time they asked, how do you keep motivating the kids to do their iReady lessons where it's a new week, 2 more lessons, another week, like, how do you keep them going? We talked
Right.
about, prizes, recognition, student recognitions, grade level recognition, classroom, school-wide recognitions to make sure we're keeping our kids motivated. And one of the things that has been really good this year with the iReady is teachers are having individual data chats with the students, talking about, hey, look, you already showed you can do this. Now we're just gonna make it a little bit more rigorous and add another step. And the kids are understanding where exactly they are and what they need to work on to succeed.
And I am familiar with the cohorts, but like more so of, hey, I missed this, or I heard about this, or what's going on. I'd like to look more into it. Maybe having those presentations or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
we have all cohorts have a Google Classroom.
Okay, good.
So if you're not there, for example, let's say you're out that day or
Excellent.
filter that, or they're really good about our TOSAs research a lot. So every now and then they'll find something randomly, like they troll other county office of
Yes.
education, and they'll say, hey, San Diego has this great resource. They throw it in the Google Classroom, and all of a sudden Miss Party gets like 5 emails.
Sharing
I'm trying
information
this.
so that when they do have time, they can do it on their own time, right? Personal time. Thank you so much. That was just my question. Again, awesome presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more comment.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Board President.
Yes.
So I wanted to suggest Math Field Day at LACO. So we've talked about literacy, right? Before, about AR, having books accessible, and also making it every day, and especially after seeing Count It Out, the movie, right? So again, this should be something fun. It should be something that the kids want to participate, but I'm not saying that we're not giving them an opportunity, but we're kind of not, because we haven't participated. My youngest son did participate back in the day, but it's something that I think that we should bring back. Again, giving them those opportunities to compete. Math can be fun, and remove that stigma that it's hard. The other thing was, again, from Count It Out, I know Mr. Oh my gosh,
Armstead?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
he's the one that did the Project Alpha,
Yeah.
right? Just having a conversation as far as what that initiative was, and investing in bringing something back. I know he's doing something right now, but again, I feel that sometimes the district has had great initiatives, and I'll give you one. When we had the RTI teachers, and then they went away and then became DLCs, that was something that was really great and that helped, and we needed both, but one was taken away. So I don't know, maybe, asking him what that would look like, possibly, if there's a consensus with the board. I mean, just exploration, right? There might be funding attached to it, but
The Math Field Day, or the
oh, both. Math Field Day, because I know that it would require, and I know teachers are gonna say one more thing for us to
Yeah.
do, but stipends, I don't know, something or another. I think it would help our students, again, that making math fun.
kind of along those lines, well, I think we have two schools right now that we're really proud of the high school's academic decathlon teams. And one of the things we're trying to build is at the middle school, we have, I believe it's 2 other middle schools are going to participate in the pentathlon this year, which includes a math component for competition. So, but it includes art and music. So getting our kids to practice more. I know there's math field day. There's, I think, history. Yes. We tried, remember we tried we were trying the spelling bee and then we went into the pandemic at one second. But all of those are actually I was just talking to Mr. Ormsted today. We have a habit of trading research articles with each other. And so one of the articles shared that a best practice is investing professional development into your math teachers, the more comfortable they are with the subject matter. And he was sharing with me that's one of the foundational principles of Project Alpha, is really making sure that your teachers are comfortable with all of those pieces. And that's what we try to do at elementary. But yeah, I can definitely have a conversation with him about, we've talked about, lesson study, that kind of thing, bringing out some of those components of Project Alpha back.
Great. And again, that's if there's consensus with the board. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again. Okay, moving on to item 13, public hearing. 13A, a public hearing to approve the 2024 annual developer fee report. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the hearing at 9:01, if that's correct. And the district has made an annual developer fees report for the 2024-25 fiscal year available for public inspection on October 6, 2025 as presented. A public hearing will be held on October 21st, which is tonight's 2025, to provide an opportunity for public comment. At this time, I'm going to ask Jill if she has any information or comments that she'd like to report on this hearing.
Thank you, President Contreras. Basically, we are making sure that we are providing the reports as required by law. We are caught up, and we have the information that has been board approved, uploaded on our website. We have this information today following the procedures. And what's legally required is to submit the developer fee report within 180 days from the end of the fiscal year. So that is what's required. We have that in our calendar as procedural from here on. There was some recent updates that we will follow through on, and we are making additional information accessible.
Excellent, thank you. I'm going to now, with that being said, I'm going to open it up to any public comments or any comments from our cabinet or our my fellow board members. With none being heard and no public comments being seen, I am going to close the public hearing at 9:03. Moving on to 13B, public hearing regarding the sufficiency of instructional materials. That was another one. And again, opening this one up at 9:03. The rationale, the Board of Education will hold a public hearing per Education Code Section 60119 regarding resolution number 09-25/206, determining sufficiency of instructional materials. And again, I'm gonna defer over to Ms. Jasmine Chavez Diaz or Ms. Gisela Castañón if they have anything to add or any comments. Thank you. And the information has been provided. I'm going to open it up to public comments or any comments or questions from our cabinet or our board members. Seeing none, go ahead and close this public hearing at 9:04. Excellent. Moving on to item 14, comments and reports by our superintendent and our cabinet.
Thank you very much this evening for allowing me to speak. I want to express my appreciation on behalf of our cabinet to the Board of Education for everything that you've done so far, for again allowing me this opportunity to serve as the interim superintendent. I also, on behalf of our cabinet, want to express our gratitude to Dr. Villegas for his leadership and commitment to our district. His vision, dedication, and focus on student success strengthened and inspired all of us to lead with purpose and collaboration. We appreciate his guidance, his trust in our collective work, and his dedication to serving our students, staff, and community. We thank Dr. Villegas for his service to our district and community and wish him continued success and fulfillment in all of his future endeavors. Also this evening, we don't have a resolution regarding our Red Ribbon and Character Counts Week, but we are celebrating that the week of October 23rd through the 31st. So I just want to say a little bit about that. We will join schools across the nation in celebrating Red Ribbon Week to promote healthy, drug-free lifestyles and to encourage students to make safe and positive choices. Throughout the week, schools across our district will participate in engaging and meaningful activities centered on wellness, kindness, and personal responsibility. Each school will take part in a door decorating contest, showcasing creativity and commitment to living drug-free, and they get very serious about their contest. This is also to support the important initiative that all schools will receive stress balls, and you have them there in front of you with bracelets and some stickers for our elementary, so wear them proudly. And we will also have activities and events throughout the district that will be supporting and celebrating the health and well-being of our students. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you. Moving on to item 15, Board of Education announcements and acknowledgements. I'm going to move on. I'm sorry, I'm going to my left here, Trustee Saavedra. I'll start with Trustee Saavedra.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, Dora. I wish you the best. You have our full support, and you know, I just hope that we can all move forward and do great things, right? Thank you to Dr. Villegas, and we wish him well in all of his endeavors. I had the opportunity to join the Safety Ad Hoc Committee with my colleague. I always want to call you by your first name because I'm so used to seeing him on the soccer field. So with my colleague, Trustee La Farga. On that note, I also stopped by the school police town hall. It was well received. Their only thing is a lot of or the parents that were there, some of them gave the feedback that we need to give them more notice. So if that could be again, just a reminder, more notice for future activities. I stopped by the first DAC and DLAC meetings as a community member, and I just, you know, I was in DAC and DLAC for a very long time. So I just got to say hi to the parents and thank them. I visited the color run at Rivera Elementary, and I had conversations with a lot of the parents there. They have a wonderful group of volunteers, and I thank them and just keep coming back, you know. Some other runners that I saw were the STEAM Academy Jaguars, among many other people that ran the Homeboy 5K in September. So congratulations to them. They've been doing it for several years now. I see on the agenda, Rivera Elementary is getting, hopefully if approved, the folklorico program coordinator. So that's awesome. You know, the Bernie kids going to theater, like all these things that our students are doing and the spaces and the opportunities that we're creating for them as teachers and admins, as coaches. I just think it's you know, my hat's off to you guys. I did attend a coffee and a legislative meeting with some neighboring school districts just to get some insight policy, allow me to connect with other school board members outside of our district. Not that I don't like you guys. I participated in the Golden Bell nominations for CSBA. I visited other school districts, specifically one showcase their counseling programs overall and across all of their schools. So that was really exciting. I attended a LAXA meeting, actually two in the time think, I don't know when the last school board meeting was, so maybe it was just one. And we received additional training and it was at no cost. So these are really good opportunities that, I like to, when I can, take advantage of. Next week I'll be going to an all-day mental health conference that's also free, and another emergency preparedness safety protocols on a larger scale that's happening Thursday. Also, I am certified. I got my certification. Miss Mejia is also certified as well. I don't know how long those last, so I might need to get recertified soon. Shout out to the community closet and student services for all they do. The community closet is currently looking for hygiene products. Please email them, find them online, or call student services if you feel that you can and you wish to donate. That would be awesome. The students are gone, but I truly appreciate the students that come in here with doing the ASB reports. And lastly, I did get a chance to participate in attendance matters. We did some home visits to encourage students that need the most support. There's some students that are literally on the verge of graduating, and there's a lot. When I was in high school, I was one of those students. So when I see them, I just want to help them in any way that I can. So, students, if there's any student out there that's listening or their parents, know that even if you're not at school physically, you're valued. We see you. We're knocking on your door, and we hope you come back. And it was just a great, very well planned, very well thought of, thoughtful process in communicating with those families. And I think that was like the highlight of my year so far. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saavedra. Trustee Mejia?
Thank you. Echoing the sentiments, welcome aboard, Ms. Soto Delgado. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for stepping up to lead the district. I believe in you as the rest of the board. So, you have our full confidence. Thank you for that. And likewise, I'd like to thank Dr. Villegas, and I wish him well in his future endeavors. So, busy month. I'll start off with the student supports. The attendance matters outreach was amazing. That was my first time attending, and I was just so impressed with the way your whole department works for the school liaisons, and just watching them interact with the families. You see the care, the relationships, the connections. Very heartwarming. Gave me a lot of hope because these students, they have someone that cares for them. And it shows. One ask that I had from the visit was one of the grandparents that we spoke to. Her grandson would like to play flag football, right? So I'm thinking flag football, after school sport, we can make that happen for them, because sometimes it's a cost issue, right? We did offer the play pass from from the city. That's only, I think, $150. It costs more to play that, but anyhow, that's one ask that I'm hoping the board can support. I'm sorry, it's an elementary student. So again, amazing outreach, and I was really happy to be part of that. Thank you for allowing me to attend. I also attended and I ran the Rivera Color Run, which was really fun. Echoing Saavedra's sentiments, they have a really good parent group, very good parent group. I just want to say kudos to them, but kudos also to Bernie, because they also had a color run. Kudos to Valencia Academy because they had a bubble run. So, I'm happy to see these type of fundraisers, because they're promoting, yes, they're raising funds, but they're also promoting an active lifestyle. Along those lines, I want to thank board member Saavedra. I ran the Homeboy 5K run, but I want to thank her for securing sponsorships for our STEAM Academy. She doesn't say that, but got to give her credit for that, because it's not a cheap race, but it's a fun race. So fun. And thank you for giving them that opportunity, board member Saavedra. I also attended the Cheer CIF ring ceremony with the board president. It was amazing to see them receive their second ring, the bling, and it was a wonderful, wonderful ceremony. Thank you to Coach Missy, because she did a wonderful job with that program. I attended the football games, homecoming, really fun. I want to shout out to North Ranchito. It's Character Counts Week, and they always have something that they're doing at their school for that. They're consistent with that program, and just want to make sure you recognize that. I want to congratulate the STEAM Academy, Peyton Martinez, sixth grader who won first place in the 2 mile. She ran a 13:51 at Mount Sac. It's a very tough course, so congratulations to her. Congratulations to McGee for continuing that tradition as well, of placing so well at Mount Sac. And I think that concludes my report. A lot of items. I do want to thank Trustee Saavedra and President Contreras for attending the last meeting, which we went over the Mahmoud case. And that concludes my board report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mejia. Trustee LaForga, I know you got some good news for us.
Okay. Thank you. I also want to start by thanking Dr. Villegas for his service to our district over the past 3 years. Leading a district is certainly complex. It takes a lot of dedication and perseverance, and I appreciate the time and energy he devoted to our district and community. He's a good man. I wish him well in the next phase of his career. And as we mentioned, Ms. Soto Delgado in closed session, oops, I can't say that. I want to thank you for your willingness to take on this interim role, to bring the stability and leadership that's required in major transitions like this. We are indeed committed to the well-being and success of our students, and you will play a pivotal role in that outcome for us and everyone who works at the district as well. As has been said, you know, we are here to support and collaborate with you to move our district forward. So thank you for taking the challenge. As mentioned by Trustee Saavedra, we did attend the safety committee meeting. Just want to commend our chief and our staff, Ms. Soto Delgado, and everyone else there for their collaborative work to keep our students safe. Everything's about providing solutions to keep our students safe. And we actually had a real life safety incident come up during our meeting. Luckily, it was a false incident. But what I saw and appreciated was the rapid response by our team to take action and resolve the issue quickly. So I think if we have that approach to everything that comes up in our district that requires immediate attention and resolution with respect to safety, we're in good hands. So it was kind of ironic that it was a safety meeting and something really critical was shared that turned out to be false. But anyway, thank you for that. I had the opportunity to visit 2 school sites. Since last school board meeting, I visited Rio Vista. I want to thank Principal Lugo for taking the time to visit classrooms with me. Visited the special ed class, TK, 5th grade. Students were great. Their hospitality was wonderful. They were engaged in their activities, but they were also not afraid to engage with myself and show me what they were learning. Very calm environment. I mean, they were, you know, I was in there like, there's like 30 kids in here and there's not a peep going on. They're all focused on their project at their table. So special shout out to our teachers as well. I also visited Valencia and on that day they were holding the Say Something assembly. And it was great, just as a reminder that we should always keep promoting the See Something, Say Something campaign. Want to thank Principal Lara also for being a great host. And I know he's excited about the expansion of his school's music program. And we just look forward to it growing and its continued success or being successful. Last week, I attended an expanded learning conference. And one of my takeaways that it highlighted the importance of expanded learning, but also how integral it's becoming to the academic success of students. And I know in our agenda today, we're approving Think Together's high dosage tutoring a contract, which just speaks to kind of the collaboration of that needs to happen so that expanded learning experiences can really support the academic outcomes of the students. You may be well aware that the state continues to infuse more dollars into after school programs and before school programs. It's up in the billions now. Our job is to advocate for more dollars and more flexibility on how we can spend those dollars. One of the conversations that was had was around mental health and how expanded learning dollars can support mental health staffing and support for our students, as well as it remains a critical issue. And we're seeing how that some of the ELOP dollars, and I look down the consent agenda, and we're spending ELOP dollars on enrichment. We're spending it on before school. So this is money that's readily available for us to do that. And in part, we also kind of have to document our stories to make sure that when we advocate, we have the successes and outcomes, because gathering data in the expanded learning program is really difficult. And if we're not aware, we probably need to ask the city, ACES, there's one-time supplemental funding for ACES money, and hopefully the city is applying for it, and it's not related to ADA, it's just they can do more for our students. So just ask that if we follow up with the city, it could be 50,000, 100,000, but they just get to spend it more on our students. And this is one-time funding because there's too much money available that wasn't spent, and they're releasing it with kind of very few strings attached. It's like a one-page application. Yeah. So let's please check with the city if they're going to take advantage of that to provide our students more opportunities. I know we have a resolution for our Administrators Week. Just want to thank all our administrators in our district for their tireless dedication to our students. And please know that you're all very much appreciated. I was able to attend the latter part of the homecoming game after halftime. Want to congratulate the winners of the homecoming court, and of course the football team for delivering a win for the school and the alumni. And I think it was mentioned earlier, but the girls varsity flag football team, their inaugural season, they made the playoffs, and today they won 26-6. So they play again on Saturday. As you know, my daughter plays. She scored a touchdown, so it makes me happy. Yeah, I'm waiting for that pick six, but it's just awesome to see the sport grow. And I just wish all our sports teams, our fall sports teams, success if they are heading into the playoffs as well. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee LaFarga. Just like a dad, right? Congratulations, but I want more. Congratulations to the flag football team, and good luck to them. Obviously, do we know when or where is it going to be another home game, or are we going away? Or are we going to find out?
Away in Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa. Okay, so for all of us that can try to make it Costa Mesa Saturday, go Dons. Thank you. I'm sorry. Estancia High School in Costa Mesa. Okay, excellent. Thank you to Dr. Villegas, as was said and shared through the board throughout. I wish him well in whatever future endeavors he should have, and thank you for his service to El Rancho Unified School District. And with that being said, I'd also like to, as has been said, congratulate Dora Soto Delgado for taking the role on. Obviously, big, huge responsibility, but know that you do have the support of each and every one of us here on the board, and obviously the staff and cabinet members that are here, and for the success of yourself and also the success of the district, which in turn are our kids, right? Which is the number one reason why we're all here. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing. As was mentioned, I also homecoming week was a lot. It was I was involved in a lot of stuff during homecoming week. We had the cheer ceremony, as was stated, with the rings, their second rings. Congratulations to them. Thank you to Coach Missy and her staff. Um, Homecoming was a great success. Congratulations to ASB for putting this homecoming event together. Congratulations to all the winners for this year. Um, Good luck to our Dons this week as we have our last home game, regular season home game, right? Because I think we can still make playoffs, and hopefully we have some playoff games on our field. As was said, also our Lady Dons, congratulations to them. Thank you to our administrators also for recognition of Admin Week. We see you, we appreciate you, and we know that what you do, you go above and beyond. So thank you to each and every one of you. I wish everybody a safe and happy Halloween. And last but not least, thank you to all our veterans, as we will not be meeting until after Veterans Day next month. I would like to say thank you to all our veterans as we recognize Veterans Day on November 11th. So with that being said, we're moving on to item 16, consent agenda. Any items to be pulled for discussion? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Go ahead and take it to vote. Trustee Sabetra?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Consent agenda motion passes 4-0. Item 17. New business action items, Superintendent Office. Number 1, adopt resolution number 7 dash 2025/2026 in recognition of the week of school administrator, October 13th through 17th, 2025.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. LaFarga.
Second.
Second by Trustee Saavedra. Do we have a, yes, excellent. So we'll go ahead and read the resolution.
Thank you. The Board of Education is proud to adopt a resolution to recognize October 12th through 18th, 2025 as a week of school administrator. This special week is to honor the dedication, leadership, and hard work of our district's administrators, principals, assistant principals, coordinators, deans, and others who play a vital role in turning school district's vision into daily success for our students and schools. Our leaders work tirelessly to create safe, supportive, and high achieving learning environments, build strong relationships with families and staff, and ensure that every student is prepared for college, career, and life. The board continues to recognize and value the year-round efforts of our administrators and extends our heartfelt gratitude for their professionalism, integrity, and unwavering commitment to excellence. And we thank them all for their work.
Absolutely. With that, I'll open it up for some comments if anybody wants to add any additional that from what was already said. Seeing none, go ahead and take it to a vote. Trustee Saavedra?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga?
Yes.
Myself, absolutely yes. Thank you. Motion passes 4-0. Or resolution passes 4-0. Item number 2, adopt resolution number 8-2025/2026 in support of Proposition 50 to protect public education and California's representation in Congress. Do we have a reader for? Was there something there? Let me check.
The resolution.
Item 2.
It's, yeah.
Is it there?
Yeah. It's in there. It's in there somewhere. Are you logged in?
Yes. Yes. Is it in there though? I don't see it.
Yeah, it's in here.
In 17?
It's 17-2?
Yeah, it's 17-2.
17-A2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At the bottom here.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and read it myself. I'm sorry, did I break it?
We have to do the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. So go ahead and may I have a motion? May I have a
Second.
motion by Mejia and second by Saavedra? Thank you. We will do this after, since we already started. Thank you. So yes, we're motion for this. You good?
Yeah.
All right. In support of Proposition 50 to protect public education and California's representation in Congress, whereas the governing board of education, where the Board of Education of El Rancho Unified School District is committed to protecting the safety and well-being of students and staff in order to provide the best educational and workplace environment possible to learn, grow, and thrive. And whereas the board is further committed to ensuring that every student is known by name, strength, and need, and provided with high quality, rigorous, and joyful education that prepares them to thrive in school, career, and life. And whereas the board finds that students' ability to succeed is tied to their access to nutritious meals, stable and safe learning environments, health and mental health supports, and freedom to express their identities without fear of discrimination. And whereas recent federal action has created significant instability for public education, including threats to eliminate the Department of Education, increased immigration enforcement, and proposed reduction of critical federal educational funding. And whereas the board is further finds that the rescission of protections against immigration enforcement and sensitive locations such as schools has generated fear and barriers to student learning, requiring districts to devote valuable time and resources and to protecting students and families rather than solely focusing on academics and wellness. And whereas recent federal budget cuts to Medi-Cal and CalFresh programs that are essential for determining eligibility for the National School Lunch Program jeopardize the health and well-being of thousands of students across California. And whereas the federal administration is proposing cuts to education funding, including eliminating many education programs, as well as Title I, which supports low-income students. And whereas the freezing and reduction of federal education funding destabilizes school district budgets and directly threatens programs that support teacher recruitment, mental health, and enrichment programs for students. And whereas the escalating threats to public education compound long-standing underfunding of critical federal education programs, such as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, leaving schools under-resourced to meet the needs of students with disabilities, military-connected students, and other vulnerable populations. And whereas in response to partisan redistricting efforts that threaten California's representation, the legislature has placed Proposition 50 on the ballot to safeguard fair congressional representation and defend California's ability to advocate for its public schools. And whereas Proposition 50 will ensure that California maintains a strong voice in Congress to protect public education, defend vulnerable students, secure the federal resources school and communities' needs, and can continue to protect investments for students in public education in the state. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of the El Rancho Unified School District strongly supports Proposition 50 as a necessary measure to protect education, defend vulnerable students, advance equity, ensure California continues to stand as a leader in defending students, family, and ensure California has a strong voice in Congress to advocate for the need of schools and communities. Passed and adopted by the Board of Education of the El Rancho Unified District at regular board meeting held on this 21st day of October 2025 by the following vote. So we'll go ahead and take a vote if there's no comments or discussion. Yes, Trustee Mejia?
Yeah, just a quick comment. Just want to thank my colleagues for having this resolution on here. It's not about being political. It really does affect our students. And I just can't help but think of the training that we have for mandated training, what it tells us not to be a bystander, but be an upstander. So to me, I really feel that we are being upstanders by having this resolution on this agenda today. So thank you.
Thank you, trustee Mejia.
If I may. just
Trustee
thank-
Lafarga,
Thank you,
yes.
trustee Mejia, for bringing this forward, from an advocacy standpoint as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Hearing no other comments, go ahead and take it to a vote. Trustee Saavedra,
Yes.
trustee Mejia,
Yes.
trustee Lafarga,
Yes.
and myself, absolutely yes. Resolution passes 4-0. Item B, Division of Educational Services, and my apologies, 9:35. Gonna go ahead and take it to a vote to extend the meeting. Do we have to go by hour? Can we go another 2 hours, seeing of what we still have on the table? Council? Yes? Okay, so extended to 11:30, 5. Yes? Motion?
I move.
Second.
Trustee Saavedra,
Yes.
trustee Mejia,
Yes.
and trustee Lafarga?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. Meeting will be extended to 11:35. Thank you for reminding me, trustee Saavedra. Adopt resolution number 09-2025/2026, determining sufficiency of instructional materials. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Open up for discussion? Seeing none? Go ahead and take it to a vote. Trustee Saavedra,
Yeah.
trustee Mejia,
Yes.
trustee Lafarga,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Resolution passes 4-0. Item C, Division of Business Services, 1, adopt resolution number 10-2025/2026. Again, appropriation limits. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Open up for discussion? Seeing none, go ahead and take it to a vote. Trustee Saavedra,
Yes.
trustee Mejia,
Yes.
trustee Lafarga,
Yes.
myself, yes. Resolution passes 4-0. Item 18, recommendation for future agenda items. Trustee Mejia,
Information item, please. Let me get it real quick. Um, if we could have an inventory or status condition on the electronic marquees. When we did the attendance outreach, I noticed that Jerpies was in pretty bad condition. You really couldn't see the information. And I know that communication is one of our focus areas. And it's a very easy way to communicate with families, right? So I think it's important for them to be maintained. I know that I've requested for Salazar as well, them getting their upgrade so we can have a status update on that as well. So that's informational for the electronic marquees. Another item that I have informational as well is,
Second.
may I have a second? Thank you, trustee Lafarga. The second one is also informational. This is bringing up Amigo de los Rios again, specifically the section across from the band room where there was, I think the grass was removed and there were some plantings and there were some issues. Just if we can get an update on how we're gonna make that area better because the students need it to practice. I did receive some requests on regarding the status of the condition of that field. Along the same lines, around the not tennis court area, the new gym, there's a lot of dust and dirt, and it could be tied into the Amigos de los Rios, maybe having some ground covering so that there's not so much dust. Again, students congregate around there. And may I have a second?
Second.
My last one is also informational. This is in regards to the tennis courts. Just an area for the parents to view the games. I know when we did the fields, there's like a lot of bushes on the side, but there's not really an area for the parents to view it. So if we can explore, how can we have like some areas so parents can view the game and not, be looking through bushes.
if I may, there was a recommendation to turn that area into a grass area where parents can, use their chairs, lawn chairs or whatnot, because I believe the area you're talking about between the softball field and the tennis
Yes,
courts, yes,
yes.
it's a huge area. And I believe that turning it into a green grass area would allow for parents to be able to set up and enjoy the tennis courts
And I'm not
as
sure
well as the softball fields.
if it needs to be a discussion item, I'd be happy to, I'm hoping that we can have that discussion. If it needs direction from the board, may I have a second to turn into a discussion item?
Absolutely second.
Thank you. Those are my items.
Thank you. Any more recommendations? Seeing none?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee
And
LaFarga.
sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry.
These were sparked by public comments. The disruptive behaviors comment brought up by ERFT and Lil. And one of our weekly reports, if we can get an update on how we're addressing those issues and how severe they are in the district, and if we have the right support systems to support our teachers in the classroom. I know there was additional staff mentioned and as a request, but kind of like what is that a reality for us, or is like we can deal with what we have and how to address and support our teachers. The other one was having, I guess, one open position in our police department. Is that the case? Well, actually, can I get a second for my first?
I will. Yeah.
Thank you. That's more of a question, I guess. Do we have an opening?
What happened was there used to be a chief, shall we say, that was not a police officer. And what happened was we created a chief out of one of the 4 positions that existed. So
Okay.
now we have the chief and 3.
So it's a wash. There's not a position. Okay. Thank you. And the last one was just around the request for HR to be in the same space. I don't know if that's something that's feasible, but is that going to be looked at?
We are working on that.
Okay, great. And I just have one request for a follow-up, the disruptive behaviors. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee LaFarga. And I did, thank you for reminding me. I do want to explore the possibility of adding, whether it be an additional SSO or a part-time school police, because of the increase in incidents, especially during the nighttime. So if we can do it as a action item for the next meeting, would that be possible for us to do? Yes, and if I can get a second?
Second.
Thank you. No other requests being made. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go back into closed session. So we will end open session at 9:43 and we'll go back into closed.